This is for all you new people. Everyone carries. No one quits. If you quit, I'll shoot you myself. Do you get me? What's up, LARPies and Glowies? Today we are discussing 24/7 concealed carry, essential gear items, and lifestyle changes you must make to stay strapped 24/7. Deploy Claymore Roomba cinematic intro. You have it? You got it? Okay, stay there. Stay there. Yeah, I'm almost home. Where is it? Is that a SIG? Is that a fucking SIG?
Yeah?
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. A real gangster ass.
What are you doing? And why the fuck are you limping?
Babe, I'm finally packing my Glock and my giant cock.
Giant cock, huh? Would you really stick down there? We all know you're full of shit. Nice Glock, let me guess. 9 mil? Typical. Lack of deep penetration.
What's up, you LARPaholics? Welcome back to LARP Raiders Anonymous. I'm Chris, I'm your host, and I can't stop thinking about ways to buy an MRAP with an M3 mounted 50 cal, 250 rounds API ammo, and a thermal mounted optic, just so I can stay safe in the suburbs of California, because you know how it should be out here. It's kind of wild. Anyway, guys, get down in the comments below. Let me know your biggest fantasy gear item that you wish you could have. Funds don't matter, and also weapon type doesn't matter. Maybe it's an F-35 that the DoD lost a few years ago. Maybe it's a suitcase nuke. I've been watching a lot of Fallout again because of the TV show. Maybe it's a fat boy, maybe it's a little boy. Let me know how you would strategically use that. It'll probably get flagged by the feds, so be careful with your comments, but get down below and let me know your fantasy gear item. All right, boys, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Fuel the algorithm, let YouTube know that you don't give a fuck what they think. You love LARPing, you love spreading 2A gospel, and you want to make our founding fathers proud. They are smiling upon you right now just because you're watching this video. All right, dudes, I love y'all. Let's get into the video. All right, boys. So as mentioned earlier, today's topic is everyday carry, essential gear and lifestyle items that are changes you can make or items that you can use to make sure you stay strapped 24/7. I don't know about you, but I made the choice a long time ago. I'm not outsourcing my personal safety and the safety of my children and my wife and my family to anyone else. I'm taking personal responsibility to do that. So I am literally strapped 24/7 all the time, even around my anti-gun relatives, my pro-gun relatives. Anywhere you see me, if you see me out and about, I'm strapped. Of course, within the parameters of the law here in California, wink, wink, of course, I would never break any laws. But hopefully you guys feel the same way, and I think that going over some of the gear items and changes today can make sure that carry is more comfortable and you feel a little more comfortable while you're out carrying to make sure that you stay strapped all the time to keep yourselves and your community safe. All right, guys, let's get into it. So first item, dick size. Yeah, mine's way too big, so don't carry. Video's done. All right, my dudes, first gear item, of course, is picking the right firearm for you. So there's a couple of caveats to this. When I first got my concealed carry permit, everyone told me pick the biggest gun that you're comfortable that you could fight with, a fighting handgun. So the first handgun I ever had was a Glock 17. And that was the first gun I put in my carry permit, and it started at 4 o'clock, and I carried that gun every day when I first got my permit because I was really excited. And then it went to about 5 days a week, than 3 days a week, and then ended up just sitting, in a lockbox in my car most of the time. So what was the point of the carry permit if it's so uncomfortable I'm not going to carry it? So what I'm saying is, if you want to actually carry your gun and have a high percentage of carry, go find a gun that you shoot well that is actually comfortable to carry to start with. I'm saying over time you will learn what different clothing items and holsters and carry styles work for you, and you can work into a bigger gun once it just becomes more part of your life. Like I said, it's been 14 years for me now, and now I can carry a Glock 17 if I wanted, appendix, and it doesn't bug me. I'm just used to it by now. But the point I'm trying to make is go pick some guns, some smaller guns first, shoot them, go up to Glock 17 or even a Glock 34 if you wanted to. Shoot those guns, but then actually try to put it in a holster at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or appendix. And if you realize that it's uncomfortable, it's gonna be uncomfortable. So start with a smaller gun, work your way up, the smallest gun that you can fight with, and then work your way up from there. And so there are a couple guns I have here on the table. I have a Glock 26, that's a great gun, but I think now the SIG 365 has totally overruled any of the smaller flame Glocks. I mean, just capacity-wise, size and weight, I would go with a Hellcat or a 365 over a Glock 26 any day. And the next year I do have a SIG 365X Macro, which is my current carry gun. I did move away from a Glock 19 and I am on that X Macro now. And this is an amazing gun, and it's just so modular. You can take it apart, switch out the frames, switch out the slides, and just make bigger, smaller guns, just because that trigger pack comes out and that's the serialized part. So that's awesome. Then I have a gun that's a little bit bigger, just a sample here, a little bit bigger than a Glock 19. This is a CZ P10C. If you guys haven't shot one of these, not a lot of people talk about them. This is an amazing gun. It's just like a sleeper build. It has a phenomenal trigger, front and rear slide serrations, super low bore axis. This gun returns the target extremely quick. The grips are excellent. The grip angle is better than a Glock, in my opinion, and I actually shoot this gun better than I shoot all my Glocks. So if you guys haven't shot a P10, you need to go pick one up and try it. And then lastly, I do have a Glock 19 with that Radiant Afterburner. So this is the size of a Glock 17 now, but it has that comp on there. I am running the X300 and the RMR. You guys saw this in the last video. And I do carry this gun, but I do not carry it with the X300. And this is how I carried it. I did move away, however, from this gun to the 365. And we can get more into that later. Actually, so I did carry this Glock 19 for the longest time. This was kind of one of my go-to guns for the last 5 or 6 years. And I carried it like this with the comp and the RMR. And I've currently moved away from this gun in the last 6 months and gone to the 365X Macro. And mostly because of concealability, carryability. The size of this gun is a little bit smaller, the grip frame or the slide length, and the grip is a little bit smaller and has better capacity. And it also has a compensator on it, and I don't have to have the length of a Glock 17. And the trigger in this gun for me, this flat face trigger, and I shoot this gun more accurately than I do a Glock. And I've been shooting Glocks for, like I said, 14 or 15 years, and I just shoot these guns better, surprisingly. So I switched to the 365. I haven't blown my nuts off yet. I know that was for the 320s, but my nuts are still intact. So if you guys are looking for a great concealed carry gun to start with, get a 365. You can take out, the FCU. You could buy different modules and different slides and make different configurations. So this is a great starter gun for concealed carry. Would highly recommend it. Item number 2 is carry methods. And there are multiple different carry methods. I know there's shoulder holsters, there's ankle holsters, there's, small back, there's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, appendix, fucking prison wallet. But I'm strictly gonna stick to appendix, 3 o'clock, and 4 o'clock. Those are the most common carry positions that I have at least seen in my experience and all my training classes that I've been to and my concealed carry qualification classes that we have here in California. The majority of people are carrying at 4 o'clock or appendix. So when I first started carrying, I was carrying at 4 o'clock, and that was by far the most comfortable. And that got me to build up my consistency where I was carrying, 6 to 7 days a week all the time. And that's where you want to be. You want to be carrying every day all the time. So that was probably the most comfortable way. And now I've kind of moved towards the appendix, and that's how I'm currently carrying. An appendix for sure on the draw is way faster and it's easier to access. And also if you're in some type of close, CQB, let's say, or like bad breath distance, that 3-yard distance where you're really up on top of someone and you have to do quick retention drawing and shooting. It's just, or if you're on the ground, and in some kind of fight and you're laying on your back, it's just much easier to get to your appendix to draw your firearm than it is your 4 o'clock. So, so you need to find which carry position works for you, and that also, you know, is dictated by the gun that you're carrying. If you're carrying a larger gun and you're, you know, want to be comfortable with that, I would recommend probably carrying a 4 o'clock. And then as time moves on, if you want to try appendix and try to get more comfortable with that, you know, go in that direction. But to ensure that high percentage of carry, you know, start at 4 o'clock, or fuck it, you know, start at appendix and just suck it up, buttercup, and just let it suck. The late and great James Yeager said it best: it's not supposed to be comfortable, it's supposed to be comforting, I think was the wording that he used. All right, guys, so pick the carry position that is most comfortable for you, and if that's 4 o'clock, then it's 4 o'clock. Don't let anyone judge you. Don't let all the Instagram operators, high speed, low drag, drawing from appendix, dictate how you carry your gun. If that's more comfortable, fucking carry the gun that way so you carry with a high percentage, so you can keep your family and yourself safe. Do it. If you move towards smaller guns and you can get away with appendix, I would recommend it. Or, like I said, I carried this gun, appendix, without the light, and you know, it was totally fine. I mean, it took a while to get used to, like years, to where I finally really don't notice it anymore. Or you can go with something like, you know, instead of Glock 26, or like I was saying, a 365. This gun is extremely comfortable to carry appendix. So I'm recommending, though, you start 4 o'clock and then work your way forward. Dudes, I know everyone talks about printing like it's some huge fucking deal. In my experience, no one cares. No one notices. No one in today's society, they're so oblivious. Everyone's head are down. They're in their phone. You know, they're just, no one's paying attention. You see people in the grocery store walking through with Bose noise canceling headphones on, in their phone, grocery shopping. It's like no one has ever noticed in the 15 years or 14 years that I've been carrying, even appendix, carrying a 19 or a Glock 17, and it's just printing every time I walk by a mirror or anywhere, and it's just printing like a mofo. No one's ever noticed. No one said anything. So I know there's this huge phobia, especially when you first start carrying. You're like, oh my God, I'm printing, everyone's gonna notice. No one notices. Everyone's too absorbed into their own daily life and all this bullshit they have going on in their hand, or you know, their own personal drama or whatever, to notice that you're printing. And even if they do notice it, no one thinks it's a gun. You know, I've seen people that have some type of like medical issues that have, you know, a little like, use that little devices strapped to their belt that's, you know, monitoring their insulin or, you know, things like that. So no one notices when you're printing. So I know you guys, when you first start carrying, you're gonna look in the mirror, like, oh, you know. Don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it. So, but obviously, the more concealed, the better. But don't think that if you're printing, that that's the end of the world, because it is most definitely not. Boomer FUD time. Going over holsters. This is a huge topic, and it's probably what's gonna make or break how comfortable your carry is and how likely you're going to carry. And so I've had, and I'm sure as all you guys, probably a drawer full of 15 different holsters. I actually can't find 3 or 4 of mine. They're somewhere out here and all this shit. But the first holster that I ever bought actually was a Galco leather-backed holster that was only for 4 o'clock carry. And it had these terrible clips on here. Terrible now that I've learned over time. And when I first bought this holster and wore it, this is actually extremely, extremely comfortable. It really is. But leather holsters, in terms of retention or reholstering or possibly getting caught in your trigger guard, and especially when you have a good belt, which we'll get into next, these clips that are on here, and I'll show you guys, they sometimes come off and do not retain your firearm. Yeah, life or death comes and you go to draw your gun and it's stuck in your whole entire holster comes out of your pants and you can't get access to your trigger. So don't make that mistake. And also reholstering this gun, sometimes the leather does fold over and tries to pull into the trigger guard. So also don't blow out your fucking butt cheek. So while these are good for, you know, first time carriers to start carrying because they are extremely comfortable, there are other holsters that work almost as well in comfortability, and you won't blow your ass cheek off and actually stay clipped onto your belt. So your mileage may vary. I just realized that on the belts that I started using that these clips did pop off, particularly the back one would always come loose and it would get stuck in my holster. So, all right, next we're gonna go over another style of 3 or 4 o'clock holster. And this one is actually a Raven concealment holster, and this one was excellent. The only reason I don't use it anymore because they did not have an optics cut version once I moved over to putting red dots on pistols. And this one actually has their snap hooks, and they only pull off in one direction. and you can adjust the size of the strap hooks. So no matter what size belt you're wearing, you can adjust the strap size. So even on a 1.5 inch to 1.75 inch belt, you can still get this around to snap on. And it has this band for adjustable retention here. And this worked extremely well and was extremely comfortable. And I think it was so comfortable because I'll do some B-roll. But if you look at the edges of this entire holster, they're all rounded and smooth. This whole holster is extremely smooth and all the corners have been like hand polished, and there is not a sharp edge or corner on this. So no matter if I was carrying it appendix or carrying it at 3 or 4 o'clock, it was extremely comfortable. So, and also there's no risk of this when you go to draw your pistol pulling off with your belt. It just doesn't happen. So there's other holsters too with different clip systems that also the likelihood of it popping off is next to zero, but this is like 100% a sure way that your holster is not popping off. And another thing is this great is getting in and out of your car sometimes and you want to take your holster off. This is super easy just to throw these clips off and pull it out, but to get it back on, slide it in your pants and loop this around your belt and snap these back on can be kind of a pain in the ass. So, but this is an excellent hybrid holster, and I definitely recommend these snaps and clips. Doesn't necessarily have to be this Raven concealment. I'm just saying if you buy a 4 o'clock style holster that's not meant for appendix, make sure it has these rounded edges and rounded corners, and it will be extremely, extremely comfortable. I have a, this is an appendix specific holster from Tier 1 Concealment. It's not the Aegis or the Axis, it's actually discontinued. But this was meant specifically for appendix, and I was still trying to use it as a hybrid holster. And my point is I don't recommend doing that. Do not buy an appendix specific holster that has the mount area here, that has the mount area here for a claw, and then try to wear this at 4 o'clock. It's just and even though the edges on this are nice and smooth, it's just when you try to wear this at 4 o'clock, this whole edge here, when it's pulling against your belt and with the style of backings for your screws, it is just not comfortable. You sit and lean on it, this thing's jabbing and it's super rigid and stiff. You can see how thick that polymer is and how stiff it is. It is super rigid and uncomfortable and digs into your back. Now carrying this appendix, that's a different story. This is much more comfortable to carry appendix. So my point is, if you're going to buy a hybrid style holster, there are other brands I'd recommend, but I really don't recommend buying a hybrid holster. So I've messed with the T-Rex arm sidecar, and I've also messed with the Tier 1 Axis that are kind of those hybrid, can be used for appendix and also can be used for 4 o'clock carry holsters. And they're somewhat comfortable, but I still think buying a dedicated 4 o'clock holster or a dedicated appendix holster is the way to go. They just tend to be more comfortable in my experience. All right guys, so my current holster, and that I absolutely love this because of the clip style, the way the holster sits, and that it is the most comfortable if you're trying to use it as a hybrid holster. And this has been the Tenacor holster. This is the Certum 3, and this one is for the SIG 365X macro. And this is not paid, I don't know them, I don't know anyone there, is that the retention on this holster is excellent. The clips on this holster are the T1 metal clips that do not come off of your belt. They're excellent. And then the claw, or the claw piece that they have on here, it comes with 3 different sizes, and it's just very slim and low profile. And as you can see, compared to this Tier 1, see this huge arm that sticks off the side over here? And there is no huge arm that sticks off the side over here. So this holster, if you remove this claw piece, has still worked fairly well and comfortably as a 4 o'clock holster, and it has total, cant adjustment up, down, left, and right. So you can totally adjust the cant, and then in terms of an appendix carry holster, has been super comfortable. So out of probably the 12 holsters that I've owned, I am gonna switch over to these. I haven't ordered one for my Glock yet because this has been my carry gun, is the 365. I am going to switch all my holsters over to the Certum by Tenacor. So if you guys haven't checked these out yet, you definitely need to go hit them up and check them out. Just everything about them is excellent. Reviewing free stuff time. Big shout out to 3pigeon.com. Appreciate you guys for sending out this 36-inch rifle bag. This is the first free piece of gear I have received on this channel, so just full transparency to you guys. They did slide in my DMs. It hit me up and said, hey dude, do you want your 36-inch rifle bag? Would you be interested in reviewing one? I'd never heard of the company before, and me, Ultimate Gear Tard, was like, yeah, sure, send it out. The first question I asked them though was where your product's made, and they were very transparent, and they said America, Mexico, and China. And when I got the bag, it did have big letters on it that said made in China. So, but that's really not a huge deal, guys. I know some people freak out right now. They're like, ugh. But the iPhone you're probably watching this on is made in China. The computer you're probably watching this on, all the parts in it are made in China. Your Holosun optic you have on your carry gun is made in China. Those new thermals and night vision optics that Holosun has that everyone's raving about, and those IR laser illuminators, made in China. So just because it's made in China doesn't mean that it's crap gear. So moving forward, 36-inch rifle bag. It does carry 2 rifles and 2 pistols. And the first thing I noticed when I slid it out of the box was actually the quality of the material and the rigidity. So all these sides here do have plastic in them, kind of like a molding plastic. So does the back panel back here where the backpack straps are, and the bottom of the bag. All has some type of plastic for hard rigidity. For some of my other bags, my Voodoo Drago bags that I've had previously do not have some type of hard plastic for some type of rigidity. So I noticed that immediately. And then the quality of the Cordura and the zippers all seem to be excellent and on par with American-made products. So I was impressed immediately off the bat. And then getting into the bag, opening it up, I did see the stitching was, really decent. I wouldn't say excellent. There are a few, frayed pieces around the edges where the stitching is coming off. All the main compartments or components that you want to be double stitched are double stitched. So good on you guys for doing that. And then they do have obviously the Velcro retention here inside of the bag on both sides for both rifles. And this center divider piece that's nice and padded does Velcro and pull off. So if you don't want that center retention piece or a center divider, you don't need it. You can take it off. And then moving to the front, they do have a MOLLE on both sides. So if you wanted to add extra pockets, you can. And these are just kind of your basic magazine retention pockets with a little bit of padding. You could put rangefinders in here or binos or something like that. But I think I'm just gonna end up tossing magazines in here. And then the large front panel does store 2 pistols. So open here, both of these Velcro open, and you can store 2 pistols in here. And I did fit a Glock 17. I did try to jam a Glock 34 on one side. It wouldn't close all the way, but I did get a Glock 17 and a Walther PPQ in both sides here, and they fit just fine. And then over here, you can just throw in more magazines. I just put my rangefinder in here and my iPro, and that was pretty much it. And it all fit just fine. The buckles seem to be of decent quality, and it could hear real nice and deep clicks. Yeah, real nice. And what I love about these style of bags, I don't know about you, but when I go to the range, I'm like that dude walking in with 2 rifle bags and an ammo can and a backpack on and just carrying all this shit. So this on the back side here, this has been awesome. They do have the backpack system. So you can throw it over your back, carry both your rifles, 2 pistols, and all the extra gear you need on your back, and still have room for an ammo can and another rifle bag or pistol bag. So they have the 2 straps back here. They are double stitched in all the places they need to be double stitched where there could be some, possible tearing or issues. And then they do have handles on both sides here. So you can pick up your bag if it's heavy, both sides, or pick it up and carry it one-handed. And then they do have a few pockets back here for, storing targets, paper, for some of you lucky dudes that can have NFA tax stamps, even though you should never give in to your Fed Range Master asking for your tax stamp. Hey, Sonny! But you can store your tax stamps in there, whatever you got. And then last but not least, it does have this lanyard strap that goes over the whole bag. It is nice and padded, and it does move up and down. So, and actually the padding on here is really nice. So, all right, as mentioned, the rigidity of this bag, that is an 18-inch 6.5 Grendel with a primary arms optic, a 14.5-inch BCM with an LPVO and a fully loaded 30-round magazine, CZ-P10C, and a Glock 26. So this is the 36-inch rifle bag. They also make it in a 42-inch, and they do have other rifle bags and cases on their website, including some, night vision, but it is digital night vision, and some spotting scopes and etc. But go down, you can use the coupon code in the link below, and you get 10% off anything on the entire website. And that, full transparency, I do get a kickback every time you guys use the discount code. So if you want to help out the channel, get down there, order some bags, save yourself a little bit of money, and enjoy this range bag. All right, you doughboys out there, it's time to lose some weight. We're gonna talk clothing and belts and just how it makes your life way easier to carry your guns. So the first topic I'm gonna go over is belts, and there's really 2 things about belts that I found that have worked for me and what hasn't worked. I did start off using a 1.75-inch belt, and I just was having issues getting holsters to fit. And that 1.75-inch belt just was more uncomfortable than wearing a 1.5-inch belt. So, and this is just some examples here. This is a 1 3/4 inch, just strictly leather belt. And this one is from Hank's Belts, and this is their Gunner Stitch belt. And this is one of the first carry belts I had. I do not recommend these. They are not rigid enough. I'll show you here. They're not rigid enough. I mean, it's like you can see the belt just flops over, it's sagging there, your gun starts to sag down and fall. And the belt is one of your most important parts, again, next to your holster, with making your gun actually comfortable. And I also did have a Blue Alpha Gear, one of their Cobra buckle belts. That one was fairly rigid. Said nothing has come close to the Core Essentials 1.5 inch belts. These things are just legit. I even bought them for work belts as well. When I have to dress up, I have leather Core belts that I can wear to the office. And then I have this, you know, of course, because I'm a tactical bro, black multicam, you know, Core belt. And you can see here the comparison in terms of rigidity. In terms of rigidity, look, no sagging. And the gun won't even flop front and back. It just stays up like that on its own. And the other good part about these belts, if you're rolling appendix, which sometimes can get uncomfortable, is being able to hit the release button here, quickly adjust your belt when you sit down in the car and pull your pants up. You go to a restaurant, sit in that booth, you can loosen your belt up and hike up your pants so your gun sits more comfortably on your stomach and isn't digging into your pelvic bone. Super easily, and when you stand up through your clothes, you just push it, you can hear it lock and click, and it clicks down. There is no old style, you know, hole and buckle that it slides through like on here. It is just a clicking retention system. So it goes through this buckle here, you can hear it click. So you can hear it click, works super well. Definitely recommend Core belts. They will change your life in terms of comfortability for your concealed carry. All right, Meal Team 6, Gravy Train boys, we're talking about pants now. We are going to order one size up from our typical pant size. So if you're already a size 42 or 44 or 46, get your ass in the gym. Stop eating McDonald's, skip that one meal, eat broccoli and chicken for lunch today. Get healthy. Come on, guys. Let's not be a liability to our family and our community. So order one size up in your pants. So I typically wear a size 33, so I'll get a size 34 or 35, and that will make a huge difference in terms of carry, because if your pants are also too tight or fit just right now, and then you're gonna add a holster and a pistol into your appendix or your 4 o'clock, it is going to be tight into your body. And then when you add a belt on top of that, even if you only can cinch the belt down 1 or 2 clicks because you really don't need any more retention around your waist, it's going to be more uncomfortable. It is gonna be harder to hike up your pants or lower them depending on how you're carrying. It's gonna suck. So order a pant size up or 2. James Reeves would be so proud right now. These are the Defender Flex 511 jeans. I know they're not short shorts, but they're still jeans from 511. And these do come with spandex in them, and they literally stretch a good 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch in the waist. And another thing that's excellent about these, on the back side, I roll in some B-roll, there are 2 pockets above both of your back pockets that are meant to hold you know, M4 or PMag Stanags, but you can shove your tourniquets in here, your lights, your spare magazine, so it makes it way easier to carry extra gear. Along with your pocket here is extra line for your knife, so your pockets don't wear out as quick. Everything is double stitched, and around your waistline too, you have more belt loops to go through to help hold your pants up, and they're all double stitched as well. So when these pants are like $70, you can catch them on sale sometimes for like 55 or 60. So Defender Flex, they make them in a slim and a straight. They are legit. But bottom line is, you just need some type of pant that is elastic, and order one size up so you can get that pistol in there and use your belt for the retention and not your belly. All right? All right, jabronis. Now we're talking shirts. I like to wear more fitted athletic style shirts. I know that's kind of gay, but I do go to the gym quite a bit. I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm 6'1", about 195 pounds, and I typically wear like a size extra large, and I do buy more fitted shirts. That's what I like to wear. So, and of course that doesn't work very well when you're carrying appendix or even 4 o'clock. It does tend to print more. Not that it's a huge deal, but it will help you in your confidence level for concealed carry if you just buy shirts, especially if you like athletic shirts. If you buy either one size up, or you find specific brands like I have that are more fitted up top and more loose around the waist. So, and actually this brand of shirt, so the brand of this shirt is Next Level Apparel, and they're like $8 online. And this is size extra large, and I'll just show you guys in some B-roll. But it is fitted more around your chest your arms and your shoulders and your sleeves and more loose around the bottom. So order an XL, and even if you want, you can take the bottom of it like I do, and I literally grab it from the front, the seams on the side at your like 7 and 3 o'clock, stretch it from the side, and then stretch it front to back, your 12 and 6. Give it just a little tugs and a couple of stretches so it'll be more open around your waist with less printing, but still more fitted up top. So you still look good if that's important to you, and you're not a Meal Team 6 bro, but you still look good in your shirts, and they're not like skin tight, sucked up against you. So there's also another brand, it's called Basic Tee, and they're all over social media. It's like the dad bod tee where it's more tight up top and loose on the bottom. So either pick up some of those basic branded tees or some of this next level apparel. The People's Camo Plaid. Thanks, Flannel Daddy, you've made that official. But the People's Camo is also excellent. Any type of plaid, t-shirt, short sleeve, long sleeve, is gonna conceal your firearm super well. Any type of pattern is gonna conceal your firearm super well. And also any type of darker color clothing is gonna conceal your firearm super well. So I stick a lot to like grays and blacks, and I like that color anyway, and stay more away from the whites, beiges, creams, any colors like that. I still do wear that all the time, but it just makes it's more obvious when you print with lighter colors compared to darker colors. So again, if that's a huge concern of yours, even though it shouldn't be, no one notices when you're printing, but just get darker color clothing. Order one size up or find clothes like I recommended that are more fitted in certain areas. All right, guys? One of the most important items for you to confidently carry all the time is training. And if you're on a LARPing channel, you guys probably get out and train quite a bit. At least I hope so. Like in full kit or not. And if you're carrying concealed firearm, which probably 99% of you already are, you better be out and actually training. Get formal training, take stuff away from classes and practice that on the flat range. And the more training you have equals more confidence. The more confidence that you have with your firearm, the more likely you are to actually carry it. If you can shoot, a 6-inch ringer at 50 yards consistently with your Glock 19, you are more likely to carry that gun because it builds your confidence when you are that capable with that firearm. So make sure you get out, you are training. Firearms, this fine motor skill, it is a diminishing skill. So you do need to get out and maintain it. So stock up on ammunition, pick the right firearm, and just get out and train. And that leads into the next part, is that you need to carry with one in the chamber. I know that's like, this is just gear items, but people that don't carry with one in the chamber because you are not confident with your firearm, because you are not trained enough, either with that firearm or with guns in general. So the more formal training you have, the more you get to the range and actually put some lead down range, the more likely you will be to carry that firearm. So you want to be proficient with your firearm anyway and be able to actually deal with the situations that unfold or are happening in front of you successfully. We all want to get home to our families, protect our children, our communities, our loved ones. So get out and train, make the founders proud. All the cool guy shit on your guns, all the gizmos. We've all seen it on Instagram, we all see it on Facebook, all the high-speed, low-drag dudes that have, as I hold one, some Gucci Glock, some 2011, some 365 that's got their comp on it, their X300, their red dot, and is like a 30-ounce handgun with all this cool guy shit all over it. You really don't need this. You don't need this to carry your gun. And if it's going to inhibit you and make the gun more uncomfortable and heavier where you're not going to carry it, get rid of all this shit. Or get out and train with that gear and carry it that way to build up that confidence. So you don't need all these gizmos on your gun to be successful. Yes, they do help. A white light is great because most criminal activities do tend to happen at night, so you can identify your target. Red dots also help a lot for long range and distance shooting, even for up close. They are just a faster sight acquisition. You do get to target focus instead of front sight focus. There's a lot of benefits to them, but again, you don't need one. These have just become popular in the last, decade? So people have been carrying iron sights for hundreds of years and have been successful in killing a lot of people with iron sights. So you don't need all the gizmos on your gun. Take that shit off. If you're not carrying it, make it more comfortable and just carry your gun naked. Not you naked. I don't know where you would put it. I don't know where it would be carried. Actually, I do know where you guys would be carrying it. But just take all the shit off your gun and run it naked. LARPies, you guys. It has been so much fun making this content. This has blown up beyond my wildest dreams, and I just sincerely wanted to say thank you. We had 3,500 subscribers the last video. We're sitting at a little over 6,100 now. That is just fucking crazy. I just get to be straight peak autistic gear tardation dork and just talk about guns and gear with you guys, and you seem to be loving it. So you keep watching it and I'll keep making it. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, guys. And when we get to 10,000, I do have a giveaway planned in mind. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is yet, but let's. These are still rookie numbers. Let's pump those numbers up, and we'll definitely do something fun. So with that said, I just wanted to say, stay ready, stay safe, stay strapped, keep yourselves, your friends, and your community safe, and LARP like our founders are watching. All right, guys, peace.